Hi everyone. I thought I'd throw this together right quick just to kind of update you on a couple of things with my IT lab. The first announcement I want to make is you will notice that beginning with Chapter 7, as we start getting into more and more of the involved topics with Excel, I have removed the number of attempts restriction on you. So now you have unlimited attempts. The reason I'm doing this is I don't want you focused on looking at how many attempts you have left. I want you focused on mastering the skills that are associated with the project I've given you by chapter. The other thing is I wanted to point something out, some tips here. When you're working here with your window, you'll notice that it might be kind of small, that kind of stuff. What you can do is you can obviously grow it here, so you can make it about as big as you possibly can. Uh, and this is about as big as you can make the image. Try to stay away, not even try. Don't use Internet Explorer. Use exclusively Firefox and use exclusively Chrome. Internet Explorer, a lot of times with these complex images and stuff like that, has trouble. You will notice too here, when you're trying to do a drop down inside the image of the simulation, sometimes you have to play with it. Notice that if I play with it here, and I'm playing, hang on. Okay, what I wanted to point out here is you notice that here I'm having trouble clicking this drop down. If you bring the size back down and minimize it, then all of a sudden I can hit the drop down. So be mindful of your ability to make the image larger and smaller if you're having trouble clicking on things. The other thing, and I thought this would be intuitive to some users, but maybe not. When you're in myITlab, you can have more, you can log into myITlab more than once. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about here. If you look carefully here at the bottom, you notice that I'm here in myITlab, and I also have another window that I've authenticated to in myITlab. The reason this becomes valuable is you can have, for example, on the learning aids, if we watch the learning aid here, the watch, in the upper left corner. You notice this is a 4-minute video, and there's no way to get back, right? If you come back here and say, okay, I've watched a certain thing here, and now I'm ready to perform it. If you come back here, it kills the window, okay? And then the only way to get the window back open is to open it back up, and if you'll notice, when you do that, it starts back at the beginning. See, we're back to 000. The way you are able to get around this is you can have it. You can have myITlab open in two windows. Like for example, I'm going to actually perform the steps in this one, but then I'm going to be watching the video here. So it goes something like this. In the upper left corner of the chart, click the first quarter fire and police calls button. In the lower left corner of the... Then I stop it, come over here, and I actually perform that. This is what I was talking about before, that not have to play with it some, with my browser anyway, I'm using Chrome, to be able to select. So then you do, for example, here, and you only want police. Oops. And hit OK. And see it changes just to police. And then what you can do is come back over here to your window and just keep playing the video. Okay, so I just wanted to point out that tactic, that little trick, that you can be in myITlab more than once. You can have multiple windows open, and that's helpful because that lets you play the video, execute the command, that portion of the command, then go back to the video and play some more. So you can have, it gives you, it's just easier. I just thought I'd offer that tip, especially since you have unlimited attempts. You can kind of go piecemeal, portion by portion. The other thing I was going to point out is that if you, depending on what type of browser you're using, what kind of operating system you're using, be mindful that this right here, for example, at the bottom here, if you hit properties, you can get rid of. So for example, if you click, I'm not going to do it because I don't prefer that, but if you hit auto hide the taskbar, and notice what I did, this is under properties. When you do auto hide the taskbar and hit OK, what happens is this taskbar will disappear. And when this taskbar disappears, everything will drop down and you have a little bit more room to work with. This is not something that bothers me, but if it bothers you, be mindful that this taskbar you can manipulate. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to show you the trick about the two windows. So you can have, one window dedicated to the video and the other video, excuse me, the other window dedicated to your actual performance of the steps, and the fact that you had unlimited attempts. I want to make sure I communicated that you don't have to worry about, now, I've got 3 attempts, and if I mess up the third one, I'm done. And then just telling you about the taskbar. I hope you found this video useful. I know at times as you get to the end here of Excel, it can start getting a little involved. I want to make sure you had access to this information. We'll see you in class.